What's going on? Happy Thursday evening, a new day of the week for us for our UDDA Winner podcast. Welcome in to the UDDA Winner podcast. Dan Black and SportyJordy here with you this evening. Jordy, how are we doing today?
Hanging in there. It was a little bit of a rough week for me. I came down with the flu that nearly took me out. I was basically unconscious for 2 days straight and still a little under the weather, but so much better than I was. So sorry to everyone listening if my voice isn't 100% back to normal yet, but we're getting there. By next week, we'll be the same old. But yeah, that was not fun.
No, I don't think I've ever actually had the flu.
I don't recommend. I had like 102-degree fevers. My whole body hurt. It was honestly excruciating.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, no, I don't recommend it to anybody.
Well, Jordan had a good flu game, so, there's always some silver linings to everything, I guess. Well, welcome into the UDDA Winner podcast on our new Thursday night episode. Super excited to bring it to you on this Thursday. Plenty to talk about. A huge weekend this upcoming weekend in the football world. Obviously, we're getting into the first weekend of December in the NFL, which means that we are down sort of to the wire, the last quarter of the season. And then also it's conference championship weekend in college football. So we have plenty to discuss there. But first, don't forget that if you haven't already, to join the Gridiron Games for this weekend. Lots of opportunities to choose from in the NFL and NCAA as well. Just head into the UDDA app and get into the Gridiron Games for this weekend. Speaking of the NFL, let's start there, as we always do, recapping our winners and losers from this past weekend. Before we get into our records, actually, let's start with our records first. You did fairly well. I actually did better than you.
Yes.
Which I think is the first time.
I was going to say, I did okay this week, but you had a very good week.
I'm not going to lie. I'm proud of myself.
No, yes, you should be.
Unfortunately, both of, for us, the Eagles screwed us.
Yeah, the Eagles screwed me, and then I keep picking the Chargers. Thinking that they're going to look like the Chargers again, and they don't. They keep screwing me over.
Literally, I was thinking about this, like, I think last week was the last time I picked the Chargers. I'm like, I'm done. Like, I thought every week for like 2 or 3 weeks, I picked them thinking they'd finally bounce back. They haven't. Done with the Chargers.
Heartbreaking.
Justin Herbert, you're dead to me. And I loved him.
No, I have his
I know you love Justin
hanging up on my wall. I love him. The Chargers, they need, I can't even pinpoint what's wrong with them, but I think I have to keep them out of my NFL top 5 money line picks from now on, because they have really messed me up.
Yeah, no, it's been unfortunate. But 4-1 for me this weekend. You went 3-2. You still obviously have the commanding lead for the season. But hey, December, we're a fourth quarter team here.
Yeah.
December could be my month.
Oh, no, I won't let it happen.
I don't know.
I'm done taking the Chargers. Things that we can only go up from here.
But let's talk about, the winners and losers. The winners, I would say the Washington football team, they got a big win over the weekend. What do we think of them? Were they like in on Washington?
I kind of am. Going into this season, I honestly thought Washington was more of a threat to us than Dallas was going to be, because we always get this hype about Dallas, and Dallas is all the networks. Everyone talks about how Dallas is going to be the Super Bowl contender every single season. And then they come out and they look painfully average. And I knew they put effort into their defense for the first time in a long time, but I wasn't expecting them to actually have something working there in such a short period of time. And they came out this season and completely proved me wrong in that aspect. And they actually look like the Cowboys that people have been talking about and kind of been waiting for a long time. So congrats to them. I know you and I never like to give any kudos to the Cowboys, but Washington, to me, I thought was going to have that powerhouse defense. And I think Taylor Heineke, he might not be this long-term solution, but I think he has what it takes to hold them together, and they have enough offensive weapons. I thought they were going to be this really solid team, and they started out super shaky, and their defense has been pretty quiet. And then they lose Chase Young, which is devastating. And for some reason, now they're just kind of surging, and they're looking now how I kind of expected them to all season. So I think it'd be silly of us to not consider Washington a threat right now with the way things are looking. And the Eagles still have to play them twice. They have a bunch of divisional games left. So Washington isn't done yet.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Looking at the numbers right now, just for the NFC East, the Cowboys are still very much favorites. But
Yes.
they've been on a bit of a cold streak recently. What do they lose? 2 or 3 in a row. They have
Yeah.
not been strong, but we will see what they have to offer tonight. Um, Cowboys still minus 750 to win the NFC East. But Washington now up, depending on the book, because they're all over the place. They're plus 1,200, other plus 950, some plus 850. The Eagles and the Giants still kind of well far behind. But Washington, as the Cowboys continue to slide and continue to not be healthy, Washington can be right there for the taking for that NFC East. And, again, month of December makes men out of you.
Yeah.
Really does.
No, and the NFC East, with the way our schedule is kind of laid out, the division, I honestly feel like there's a chance it's going to come down to that week 18 game if Dallas keeps losing in the way that they're losing.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about, the other loser before we move on to some more stuff. Let's talk about the other losers from this past weekend. I would say
Wah,
the
wah,
Saints.
wah. Yeah,
The
the
Saints
Cowboys
are
and the Saints are our losers of this week, and that's who we get to watch tonight in Thursday
right.
Night Football.
That wasn't even. I honestly, when I was putting together the rundown for the show tonight, that wasn't even a part of my plan. That was just happy accident more so than anything.
Hey, it
Like
works.
it.
We can't complain about that.
Yeah, no, but no Alvin Kamara, backup quarterback, no Michael Thomas. Like
The
it's
Saints
bad.
are the Saints are in a really, really sorry situation, and I'll give them credit because I genuinely expected nothing from them this season just because they were in salary cap hell, and they had to make so many cuts that they didn't even want to make, but they had to make just to be able to be under the salary cap or within the salary cap. So I was like, they're down to skin and bones. They don't know what their quarterback situation is going to be. And then Jameis Winston came out and was kind of making something work with this team. And then he goes down, and now it's just like injury after injury. And I feel terrible for them.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, it's not a great
Like,
position to
there's
be
no
in.
other. It's just like, yeah, you feel for them, but the reality is like the way they've built their team over the last few years, this was bound to happen. Like when you
Yeah.
put your entire offense into a running back and one wide receiver, like eh, they were able to like tread water for a few years. But this was bound to happen that if you didn't have a great quarterback after Drew Brees, they decided never to draft one.
Yeah.
It's their prerogative. They decided to put
Which is also, let's just talk about that for a second, because there were about 2 or 3 seasons where at the end of the year, it was like, is Drew Brees going to retire? Is Drew Brees going to retire? So they had plenty of time to
yeah,
figure out an option to get a young guy to either sit behind Brees or be right there to take over. And they just decided not to worry about it.
yeah. I never get that
Yeah.
from an organization. Like when I look at like Pittsburgh, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're worried about the ego of the quarterback possibility. I think that's obviously the case in Pittsburgh.
I don't think Drew Brees, though, would have
But
been
he's
a
no,
pro
he's not an
yeah.
egotistical guy.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if anything, he would have like,
They've been like,
help a
yeah,
young quarterback.
yeah. They've been like, yeah, I'm 38 years old. Like
Yeah.
that's I think that's a fair
This is
thing for you to
fair,
plan for.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
And
play
that's
till
a
I'm 50.
conversation, I think, as long as the organization like, if you don't do what the Packers did to Aaron Rodgers or what the Eagles did to Carson Wentz, in that situation, I feel like the Saints, all they had to do was sit down with Breeze and say, "Hey, we're not rushing you out the door. We know you're towards the end. We're just bringing someone in. We want you to guide them, teach them everything. And whenever you're ready, then you can go." But like, it doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to be an end of the world backdoor situation.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's something that I don't understand in terms of like you have these people that are deemed so smart, but like and find themselves in these situations. Like the
Yes.
obvious thing to do is just draft a backup when they're like 39 years old.
Right?
I don't get it.
But yeah,
Yeah,
now
no,
it's put them in the position that they're in because they have these pieces, but now these pieces are injured. And then you're honestly lacking in the most important piece. You don't have a quarterback, you don't have a long term leader to kind of bring everything together. So it's kind of like, where do you go from here and how do you finish out this season?
yeah, yeah. They have a lot of questions to answer, and that's why
Yeah.
they were in our loser category and
Yes,
have
that is
been
why they are
basically all
not winning in week 12.
they are not winning. Let's talk about tonight, Thursday night
Okay.
football. Would you like to make a bet on tonight?
Ooh, why? Do you think the Saints are gonna win?
I just have like what's the spread?
So
That's the number
Cowboys
one question we have to ask ourselves tonight is what's the spread?
the Cowboys are favored by 6 on the UDDA app.
Wow.
They're 6-point
Huh.
favorites. So we could I'll do a bet. No, I can't believe I'm even, like, doing this. I do think the Cowboys are gonna win.
Me too. But I just
Okay.
have this weird I just have like this feeling. I can picture it now just like the Saints are down like a touchdown or something and then or like they're down 10 and then they like score a touchdown and that's the final score and they get like a backdoor cover in like the last like
Yeah.
minute. I just
No,
have
I
like
can see it happening.
I don't have any actual like reasoning behind it. I don't have any
Just a
actual reasoning
feeling.
behind it. Just a feeling and the Cowboys have just like I feel like in my life, anytime the Cowboys start to like unravel, it just gets worse.
This is true.
And so like
I'll give you some numbers though. This
okay,
isn't steering you one way or the other. I did see this today though. Cowboys are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. Um the Saints I think are like 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games.
not worried about it.
Not worried about. Are you going to
Heading.
do we want are we making a bet right now? Are you
Yeah.
taking the
I'll
Saints
virtually
plus
shake your
6?
hand.
Yes,
I'll virtually
virtually.
shake your hand.
Beautiful. All right, we need to clip this
Wonderful.
off. We'll see what
Yes.
happens. You know, I
Yes.
unfortunately, as much I would love to root for the Cowboys to lose every single game, every single week. I pick against them as much as possible, but in this situation, I just have a feeling this like we saw what the Eagles could do against the Saints. In my opinion, if the Cowboys play like the Cowboys did the first half of this season, this is a super easy win for them. Would I love the Saints to backdoor cover or even upset entirely? More than anything else on this earth, I just don't necessarily feel it happening tonight.
Could happen.
What do I get if I win? What do you get if you win? What are we betting?
Betting could bet you to bucks or we could bet
Ooh, let's
you
bet
want
you
to
to
bet.
bucks.
What?
I'll bet you 10,000 bucks.
Bet. Deal.
Done.
Done.
Done. We'll lock it in.
Figure out how to Venmo you to buck each other or whatever.
Okay. All right.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure out a way to share with each other. I don't know. We'll get to it. But deal. 10,000 on the line. Wow. It's
Dun,
like
dun, dun, dun. It's
all
a
my
big
money.
deal. I know it sounds like a
Yeah.
lot.
Okay, but before we move on to college, can we just talk about the Browns Ravens game? That they were in the losers for that game. The
Was
losers for
everyone.
that game was us, the
Yeah,
viewer.
watching. I felt like I was being punked watching that game. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, and as a proud Lamar Jackson fantasy owner
Yes.
and stan, a proud stan of one Lamar Jackson. I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of his draft. I've been a fan of his from day
Yes.
one. I am of the belief now, after watching the season,
No.
I don't know if he's gonna win a Super Bowl.
No. No. Okay. No. No. Yes, that was a terrible, terrible game.
No, but that's not. But it's not just that game. It's not just that game. Like he
I love
has
him.
he has no. So do I. But he has lots of moments of great inconsistency.
He does. He
He's
totally does.
extremely inconsistent, and so like I don't think he's someone that the moment gets too big. I just think he's inconsistent, and like and
Well,
I just don't believe as much as I want to believe he's a like when I look at when I look at when I look at Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, they are nothing but usually very consistent.
you're I know. Here, I'll play devil's advocate here. Lamar is also playing on a team that is like dead basically. Everyone's injured. Their running backs are all like they would have thrived in 2004. So it's like their defense, they have a great defense which obviously helps them. I think they're second in the league right now. Like they're killing it. Um but he's like kind of putting the whole team on his back, and I feel like maybe it's all like the pressure of like he's like, I have no one
Possible.
out here. So this is probably reaching, just me trying to like rationalize a little bit, but I want him. You know what? The Titans robbed the Ravens and Lamar of the Super Bowl 3 years ago when they upset them in the first round of the playoffs. And that is
Fair.
legitimately like that was the year for the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl and win. And then the Titans upset them, and that is the reason I hate the Titans. Because of that one playoff game. I will never get over it. Because that year I was so gung ho on Lamar. I called him as MVP like so early in the season. Everyone told me I was like out of my
You were
mind.
in.
And then
You bought in.
I was in. And then the Titans came in and ruined it all. So I don't want to say he'll never win one because like I personally just need him to win one because he deserves it. But it just should happen.
That's fair.
Thank
That's
you.
fair.
But
Yeah.
now tell me, we agree on Baker Mayfield though, right? You're not a Baker Mayfield stan.
No,
We've
I hate
talked
Baker
about that.
Mayfield.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it. No,
Yeah.
we talked about this before. I'm so not, but I think that the Browns are in such a terrible there's no good quarterbacks to come out in the draft this year.
Yeah.
No quarterback in the right mind would choose to live in Cleveland. Like Russell Wilson doesn't want to live in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson doesn't want to live in Cleveland. But they built a roster that's like Super Bowl ready. But they don't have a quarterback that's Super Bowl ready, but they're not going to get one that's Super Bowl ready. So like I
Hey,
don't
here's
know
a
what they're
theory.
supposed to do.
Here's
I
a
don't know what
theory.
their plan is.
Aaron Rodgers lives in frickin' Wisconsin.
Yeah,
I
but there's a
think
difference.
Cleveland's a little bit of an
Okay.
upgrade.
But one, he plays for a good team. Two, he's
Yeah,
been
but
there for 15 years. So like, you know,
you see, like, I personally look at the Browns and I see a Super Bowl caliber team minus their quarterback.
right. That's exactly how I look at it. But
So
like
if you don't think Aaron Rodgers would want to slide his way right in there,
why would he leave a place that he already knows the playbook, knows everybody there, like is
he's
the
done
king?
with. You think he's going back to Green Bay next season?
I can tell you he's not if he leaves, he's not going to fricking Cleveland. Who wants to go to Cleveland? I've been to Green Bay. I lived in Wisconsin. Green Bay sucks
Yeah.
in terms of like a play. In terms of like an actual like place to live. There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
But like Cleveland's basically the Green Bay of mid-sized to large cities. You're just like why?
I
Like why would
spent
you want to? It's a place that was great 50 years ago.
I spent like 4 hours in Cleveland, and I had a great lunch.
Great.
I lit great. It was pretty. I don't know.
Like, why would you want to leave great? Like that doesn't make sense. It's like
He
going
hates
this
the
way.
Packers. Well,
What?
he hates Packers organization.
Yeah, but like they're
Oh,
gonna
are you an
probably
Aaron Rodgers stan?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Are you not?
No, I'm obsessed with him. Like, I love him so much,
For his
and I
looks or
want
for his talent?
both.
Fair enough. I agree. He's a handsome guy.
I do miss the mustache, though. That was my favorite
Me
phase.
too. I once had a
Yeah,
mustache.
it was a vibe. You
Yeah,
once had a mustache?
yeah, for during quarantine.
Ooh, nice. That's
Hmm.
fun. I can't say I've ever done that.
Yeah, I would hope not. The mustache is a hit or miss thing depending on the face. You need the right face for it.
That's
Take
fair.
take the
That's fair.
face. Takes a certain face. Anyway, wrap up our NFL talk. Obviously a big weekend. Huge game Monday night. Bills and the Buccaneers. And to celebrate that, in our UDDA app, Jason
Wait,
Tartick, for those that are
Bills, Patriots.
Bills Patriots, I'm sorry. I thought Tom Brady, and that's why.
No, it's
You're right.
okay. I still
Bills,
have to think about it sometimes.
yeah. Bills Patriots, and it's because I made a meme today. That had to do with Mac Jones and Tom Brady, so it threw me off.
I saw that. That was so funny.
Thank you. Anyway, Bills Patriots Monday night. So we have a special for those part of the Bills Mafia here from UDA in our UDA app. If you haven't downloaded it already, please do. Jason Tartick, for those that are fans of the Bachelorette world, he is promoting a prediction game. It's his special for Bills Mafia. So if you are a part of Bills Mafia, please join it. We'd love to have you, and also enjoy the game Monday night, obviously, and go crazy because you're Bills Mafia.
That is the game I am actually most excited for.
It's going to be epic.
Week. It's going to be so insane.
It's going to be so good. AFC East on the line. Join Jason Tartick's Bills Mafia contest on the UDA app. Switching over to college football, a huge weekend in the collegiate ranks. It is conference championship weekend. I am looking to bounce back. I once again did absolutely awful. No one helped me out. We're not going to get into it, but it's just been a bad year for
you don't want to talk about
bad
it?
few weeks in terms of the betting numbers for old Dan Black here. 1-5 with the weekend. Not good.
Hey, it's better than 0-6.
That's true.
It's better than 0-6.
Second to last option. Second to worst option of what could have happened, but not the worst option. But a huge weekend in college football. Looking at the layout of it, there's a lots of great betting opportunities. You look at the big ones in the American, you look at Pac-12, Big 12, all of them. I am really interested. Like if you're talking about like the number one game to watch in terms from a betting standpoint this weekend, I love the American Athletic Conference Championship. Cincinnati, so many storylines. Cincinnati, opportunity to go undefeated. They play on their home field. They're the only of like the ones to actually give a shit about that are going to play on their home field against a Houston team that if they didn't lose to Texas Tech in overtime would also be undefeated and possibly both playing for a chance in the playoff. And then just the opportunity to get into the playoff for Cincinnati. But like what game were you like, this is going to be epic?
I don't know. I'm still excited for Georgia, Alabama.
Me too.
I don't know. Like, that's just, I mean, it's like basic and obvious, but come on, Michigan, Iowa, too. I've had my eye
Yeah,
on Iowa all season. That's going to be a really good one. Um, but no, I mean, also, are you ready for this? You'll
yeah,
appreciate this. I didn't really start betting on college football till this season, and I'm still not as gung ho into college as I am NFL, but I've started dabbling a little bit.
fair.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, big fan of Justin Herbert, who went to Oregon. So it's the opening week of college football. Oregon's playing Ohio State. I took Ohio State to win March Madness, held this grudge against them because they lost in the first round to Oral Roberts. And I was like, you know what? I'm done picking Ohio State in sports for right now. I didn't realize how much of a favorite they were against Oregon in the first game of the season. I was waitressing at the time. I had a great night, made all this money. I threw like 250 bucks on Oregon money line without even like thinking about it. Game starts. I realized they're 14-point underdogs. So I was like, oh, I just threw away $250 and I'm watching the game and they're up. They're outplaying them the whole time. And I was like, I think I just did something here. And they ended up winning. I cashed out like 600 bucks and I was like,
Yeah.
this is incredible. So now this whole season I've been rooting for Oregon. Every time I watch Oregon, they win. So now I'm a huge fan of Oregon football. So I 100% will also be watching them against Utah this weekend as well.
Well, that's a long way of saying that you're rooting for Oregon, but that's
Oregon,
fair.
yes. That's my long-winded answer saying Oregon might be my favorite college football team this
Oregon,
season.
I like Oregon. They're actually not favored in this one. +3. You like them? You like them +3?
I mean, I took them plus 14. I took
Oh,
them
okay.
money line when they were plus 14.
That was a dumb
So,
question.
yeah.
Looking back. No, but I like that. I do the thing about the Georgia Alabama game I've struggled with. Georgia is -6.5. I'm confident, but not like over. Like I'm confident in the American game, +10.5 for Houston.
Mhm.
And I'm confident in Michigan covering 10.5 as favorites. That like this SEC championship game, like I made my bet. I'm not confident in it. I'm just gonna
What did you
be.
take?
I took Georgia to win and to cover 6.5.
Nice.
We're gonna bet on that too.
You know, I would take Bama.
Take Bama.
Yeah.
Can bet food this time. Bet
Okay.
dinner. Bet dinner.
Okay.
Or doing money line, or just like
I'll take Bama plus 6.5.
fair enough.
And you'll
Less
take
confident about this. Taking two
uh-oh.
very risky bets against you. I'm here
Sorry.
for it.
Yeah.
Part of
No,
the
but you have it. I feel like this one, I feel like the Saints is much more riskier than this. This
by
I honestly
far.
think is a coin toss.
But it's more of the covering. That's the question. Can they cover
Okay.
by a touchdown? That's the real question. We'll see.
Dun 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 dun.
Exactly. Play the
Dun dun
music.
dun dun.
Play that music. Um,
Drum roll.
exactly. But no, but I'm super excited. So those are some of our picks. You can get the full slate of what I think for this weekend. The whole video on YouTube, as well as clips of it, and the full video on Instagram, Twitter, all at UDDA_winner. So check it out. And also you can play our Saturday 6 conference championship contest on the UDDA app. So get in there, make your picks, see if you can do better than me, or maybe we'll do the same amount, depending if you go exactly against me. If you tail me, by all means, do it. But yeah, Houston plus 10.5. That's my lock. That's my guarantee that'll happen.
I'm saying Oregon plus 3.
I like that.
Lock.
I like that.
Thank you.
We're not touching the ACC or the Big 12.
No,
Not doing it.
absolutely not.
I never trust the Big 12 with anything. ever,
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair.
ever. Not the quarterbacks, especially. All right, to wrap things up as we head closer and closer to the weekend, bet of the weekend. What's like your going into it lock of locks, Dr. Locks? What do you have for me?
This one, it's tricky, and I'm gonna stick with NFL because
Yeah.
that's kind of where my expertise, if I can call it that, lies. This is a really tricky week though, because games either feel like a coin toss, like it can easily go either way, or it feels very skewed, which is also scary because then you have just the risk for these random upsets that consistently keep happening week after week. I think the one thing that I am going to go with though is this. I'm going to go Cardinals over the Bears straight up because they're the frickin' Cardinals. And I understand that even I don't know for sure if Kyler Murray or DeAndre Hopkins is coming back for sure this week, but they have been making their team work with their backup quarterback. I mean, yeah, with their backup quarterback while lacking one of their star receivers. They still look as strong as ever. They're still leading the NFC. So at this point, I just don't think anything can really stop them. And the Bears are the Bears. So that is one of the games that I feel comfortable with. The other ones, like we saw the Jaguars upset the Bills. Are the Jaguars going to upset the Rams, who couldn't win a single game in the month of November? Like it's like these other games feel very
Yeah.
uncertain to me. I don't feel comfortable touching them. Cardinals, Bears, I can see there's a chance of a flip. There's definitely a chance that the Bears sneak in there, but I feel way too confident about the Cardinals right now to pick anybody else.
It's fair. It's a fair bet. I mean, for the most part, they have done their job this season. And I
Yes.
mean, yeah, the only thing I would wonder is like where they at right now, the Cardinals, given and it's not really much of like a conversation, but like given the fact that Cliff Kingsbury's name has been tossed around to, take some college jobs. Like I don't I mean, I couldn't imagine him even realistically I mean, why would you leave a good team in Arizona for Norman, Oklahoma? But like
Yes.
you don't like all they have to do is bring out a
I
checkbook.
No, I swear to God, if Cliff Kingsbury even thinks about leaving the Arizona Cardinals for a single, if the thought crosses his mind, I will be on a plane and I will be there, all 5 foot of me, and I will look him in the eyes and I'm going to say, "What the heck are you doing?" He cannot, your team is so good. And like you have the opportunity to get better. And like it's the thought of, like, leaving where they're at right now to go and coach college, it just seems entirely bonkers, and I get it, he's only I can't see it happening, I don't want it to happen, I think it's ridiculous, I don't think he should want it to happen, but I really don't think it's gonna affect them at all. Everything I saw him say about the situation
Yeah.
was, "I'm in this season, and we're not talking about that right now," but I hope it doesn't affect them at all, and I hope it doesn't affect him at all, and I hope he stays there and they can continue to be great because they're such a fun team and such a good team, but, literally, people were texting me all weekend, like, "How do you feel about this?" And I was like, "I don't even wanna talk about it. It's not happening.
Yeah.
No way."
I feel you. I'm
Thank
with you
you.
on that. I'm with you on that. My best bet of the weekend that I think is an absolute lock is the game we just talked about, Michigan and Iowa. I think Michigan minus 10.5. I think they will absolutely roll over Iowa. Michigan's defense is better than Iowa's. Hassan Haskins was an absolute monster against Ohio State on the ground. Iowa doesn't really
That
have
was
much
such
of a
a great game.
yeah. Iowa doesn't really have much of a passing game. Michigan's run defense is plenty strong to keep them at bay. And Cade McNamara for Michigan is very efficient. Not an incredible quarterback, but he's an efficient quarterback and doesn't turn the ball over. If they don't turn
Yeah.
the ball over, there's no reason for them to not be able to win. 2, cover, and 3, get into the college football playoff.
Amen.
That's what we want. Actually,
Yeah.
no, I don't really like Jim Harbaugh, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Are you a Harbaugh stan?
Not a stan. Is that stan? I'll save for someone a little bit more special, but I don't hate
Justin
him.
Herbert?
Just Justin Herbert, like I would jump in front of a bus for.
Fair.
I don't know if that's a stan. I feel like that's.
I mean, listen, I would jump in front of the bus for my family, but I don't know about Justin
I feel
Herbert.
like
He's bigger than
he's
me.
just like. I just feel like he's so like he just like cooks his on his grill. He just grills and he has his hair and he's just wholesome.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, there's that. And that's how we're going to end the show today.
Jordan throwing herself in front of a bus.
For Justin Herbert. Again, don't forget, also amongst the great contests that we have at UDA University or UDA to play in our app, don't forget about UDA University to help out with all of your betting needs. If you're new to betting or just need to brush up on some stuff, the verbiage, the language, what have you, what things mean, by all means, use UDA University when you head into the sportsbook of the UDA app. Join all the contests for this weekend. Follow us on all socials at UDA_winner, and we will talk to you next time. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.